too, Ian. So how's everything going? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's extremely cold here in New York, and so I'm kind of just like spending as much time inside as possible, which is good for trying to write some music. And so kind of just trying to use the time when we're not on tour to make as many things as possible and see what's good.
Great. I mean, you get the creative juices flowing and everything. So, I also saw that you guys are coming back, and you guys are coming back not only to play the show but to present the new album that you guys have out.
Mhm.
Uh, so how are you feeling that you guys are presenting this new album at Four Indie Rocks?
I mean, it feels really great. I like the last time we've only played in Mexico once before, and it was at Corona Capital, and I was like incredibly sick, and so the performance was really difficult for me, and then I didn't get to really experience the city at all, and so this time getting to feel like we're going back, we're playing our own headlining show with new music. Uh, It's just something I'm really excited for, and that we get to experience, Guadalajara, Monterrey, and Mexico City. Um, it feels like something we've been wanting to do for so long.
Great. Yes, because having a festival setting can be very different, and maybe less intimate than a proper show. But I
Mhm.
guess like nation of language shows are very well. I don't know what can someone expect from a nation of language show, seeing that we've only had you in a festival. Like,
Yeah.
what can we expect of a solo show from you guys?
I mean, I think the word that I always think of is like catharsis. And whether that's like, our manager has had this sort of observation once where he was like, it often seems like there's two kinds of people that come to Nation of Language shows, people that came to dance and people that came to cry. And sometimes both. But I think, kind of making it a place where you can kind of feel community with the people around you uh about music and about like to me a lot of it is just kind of feeling less alone in the world and less alone in our feelings. And so uh it's emotional but fun, and I mean, yeah, we just love being on tour and being around other people with the music.
It sounds like a very cool show, and because I mean, it's not only about what you say, like it's not only about playing the songs and just going on stage and playing your instrument, but I feel like from what you say, you try to connect with the people and with the and with everyone that comes, and you try to create a community. So that's pretty nice. Um, I also saw that. Well, obviously, you guys are coming with a new album, and
Mhm.
so I mean, this is a very good album, but how do you feel like you've departed from the previous one into this one? Like, what sort of changes did like the I don't know if the creative process, but maybe like the influences, the music, the way that you wrote the songs and everything. How can you? How did the difference? What difference can you notice?
I mean, I think this record feels like the most kind of vulnerable and intimate one that we have done so far, and the writing process felt like it was done uh it was in a time of kind of grief and depression for me. And so it felt like a very kind of immediate response to my internal kind of panic and sadness. Uh, and so I think there is, in terms of the sort of driving force behind the record. It felt a little more kind of immediate and urgent for me to make it as quickly as I could. Um, and I think sonically, there's definitely a lot more like guitar on this record than there ever has been in a Nation of Language record before. Uh, and I think, with each record, we kind of tried to expand just a little bit, like what Nation of Language like can sound like. And so, with this one, there's some like harmonica, there's some sampled break beats, there's, like I was saying, more guitar. There's songs that are way more stripped back than we've ever had on a record before. So just like trying to shine different lights on what we can do and push ourselves a little further.
Yes, it's definitely not lost like the emotional content that this album has,
Mm,
and that is pretty cool. But as well, like as you say, this was very like through a dark time for you,
mm.
and so I wanted to ask, like, was it uh somehow difficult to open up about these topics or themes or feelings that you were kind of having? Like, did it take you back to that place that you originally had, like feeling sad, or was it maybe like some sort of maybe like a way of letting it go? Like, how were those feelings?
Yeah, I mean, I think it feels kind of like medicine in a way, where, I think especially with writing lyrics, it allows you to approach difficult things both directly and sort of abstractly in a way that helps you understand them a little better, because not all the lyrics have to be super literal, and you can use basically the power of poetry to kind of ex try to express the parts of how you're feeling that are difficult to just say to another person. Um, but yeah, and I think now, like, performing the songs, we'll go on tour and we'll be playing these songs every night that I wrote when I was so down. Um, and I think it helps to see other people enjoying and connecting to the songs. And it makes me feel like the the sadness is not for nothing, because it makes us understand each other better.
That is a very nice, like, but that is a very cool take on like how something that uh, came to be because of a very dark time can unite the people and turn into something very cool, like a song on a live show or something that people can connect and relate to. And
Hmm.
there it's very nice. And I also saw that you guys recorded the album with a producer, and I think in New York, right?
Yeah, yeah, Nick Milheiser.
Yes. So, do you think like maybe being there or like um I don't know if you live in New York.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
so do you think like maybe uh the place your producer or something kind of like influenced a little bit more on the sound of this record? Like, I don't know, maybe do you think like there's this New York inspired vibe on the record, or has there always been this New York inspired vibe on the Nation of Language records?
I mean, I think that there is always a bit of New York kind of in the creative process, at least, because it's just, it's such a busy place, and it feels like everyone is doing something all the time, and so you have this need to kind of keep up and to try and to strive. Um, and I mean, our producer Nick, he definitely has a powerful influence on the record, because he is someone who appreciates kind of the imperfections of creative process and of the recording process. And I think it's really valuable to have like an imperfect recording of the music, especially when it's dealing with, very like human emotions of grief and loss. Um, because these things are messy and you kind of want the form to match the feeling.
Nice. Yeah, that I'm great that he that's great that he helped to the creative process, and it's also nice to have someone outside the band to kind of like see the songs and the music from other perspectives. So that's
Yeah, for
very cool.
sure. Yeah.
And like I also neither know that you guys tour a lot. So I wanted to ask you like how do you keep up or like maintain yourself kind of like I don't know with your mental health and everything, or like balance your life with touring and everything.
I mean, I think the group that we tour with, there's the three of us in the band, and there's our sound engineer and our lighting designer, and you know, our lives are all like we're all really close friends back in New York too. And so just having each other as like a network uh of people who have sort of learned to understand each other's like body language, and we know how to communicate with each other really well. Uh, that has made like a world of difference. Just like when you are touring, being surrounded by people that you feel like you can talk to about anything and who can understand kind of without even asking that, if you need time alone or whatever it might be, is really valuable and something I'm really grateful for.
Nice, that's great to hear. And I also saw that you guys as well have toured so like all over the world, maybe even Japan, I think. Um,
It's
but
coming out soon.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And but how do you think these shows in Mexico are gonna be? Do you think these shows in Mexico, like Guadalajara and Mexico City, are gonna be special? Are you planning something interesting, or what can people expect from the shows?
I mean, I definitely am really excited to finally get back to Mexico and yeah, to have like our own headlining shows there and in three cities, two of which we've never been to. It's really nice to kind of go into a place not knowing what to expect and being open to any of the possibilities. Um, and like Mexico is a country that I've wanted to play more shows in for so long, and there's always just been like something that didn't connect and it didn't work out. And so finally being able to do it feels like a real achievement for me personally. And so yeah, I'm just really stoked.
Great. Well, we are very excited to have you here as well soon. Hope and we can't wait for the shows. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you too. Thanks so much.
And stay safe. Be careful with the cold and everything.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.